Hello folks, and welcome to what I am sure is going to be an absolute debacle of a service job. Today I'm going to start working on my Hitachi Lo-D D-980M tape deck. And I don't know if you guys have ever had an experience where you've sat down to work on something and were absolutely sure it was going to absolutely give you all the drama and at once, but I'm getting that feeling from this deck. It was built in 1979, so it's about the same age as my CT-F900, and we all know what kind of a job that was to deal with. I think it was 5 videos on that deck before it was done, and I had about $500 into it at that point. Anyway, I hope this won't end up like that, but who knows. Now, Hitachi had several flagship models throughout their time with cassette decks, but they're really not all that well known. And as a result, they're kind of cheap to buy here, but that is not the case in Japan, where they have a sort of a loyal brand following. I don't want to say they're up there with Nakamichi, but they're well on their way there. Like all of the flagship Hitachis I could find over there were $400 and $500, except for this one. This one was $300, or y'all have to excuse me again. I was out until like 2 o'clock in the morning Friday night. It is Monday now, and I still haven't caught up in my sleep yet again. I was out in Admiral, Saskatchewan getting one of my bucket list lightning shots, which I will show to you now. Anyhow, I'm real tired. Literally 3 days last week that I was out late at night, and just takes its toll on a person. Anyhow, before I went on camera with you, I did a few things to this deck. First of all, the finish on this kind of looks like it's got a golden color. It's not supposed to be that way. The previous owner was a smoker, so that's the glaze we got going on here. And yes, I've got belts and stuff already. I hope I've got the right ones, but I don't know if I do. But you can see that I've cleaned off the control panel here. This is how it's getting closer to how it should look down here, but it's still got a little bit of a glaze to it. I'll try and get that off some more as time goes by. I have also polished the eject button a little bit just to see how it would come out, and it's looking great, but I've got a bit more work to do there yet. These controls all need polishing up here, as does this. And yes, I'm going to give the simple green a good workout today, I think, because I want to get this looking better than this. Now, there are 2 different versions of this deck. There's the one I've got here, which is the D980M, and then there's the D980D, at least in terms of the Japanese models. And they're all, you can only find them in Lo-D branding in Japan. That seems to be the case with Hitachi, is their best models in Japan were under the Lo-D brand name. Kind of their boutique brand, like Elite for Pioneer. There are several models that Hitachi has sort of at the high end of things. There's this one, of course, and there's the D1100, the D2200, the D3300, the D9, and the D909. And for auto reverse, there's the DX10. All of these are direct drive models, I think. Pretty sure. And this one is too, obviously, but anyhow, another thing I've done is I've taken the door off and cleaned it real good. There was a lot of crap back in here that had to go. And I'll warn you now, these are not screws right here. It kind of looks like they are, but they are not. The screws come in from the other side. These are screw sockets, is what they are. Basically kind of fancy nuts that hold the glass on. So, I should mention before we get into this that I have taken the lid off this off camera just to see what I was up against, and I've got good reason for thinking that maybe this is going to be a harder fight than usual for one of my cassette decks. I'll show you in a second here. First off, the belts I have are here. This is the inner capstan belt. I'm happy with this. It should work. It's a little thick, but it should still work. The real drive belt is a mystery. I couldn't find much information on what works for this unit, so I've got 3 different ones here. There's this one, which may be too short, or may not be too short. I just went ahead and bought it anyway. The thickness is off the charts, so I'm not sure it's going to work because of the thickness of the belt here. Or rather, the width. The thickness is also kind of thick, but whatever. This is more likely to be the right size for the real drive belt, but it's kind of only a 3mm belt, so I'm not sure if this is the right one either. Fortunately, as it so happens, I've got a Deck Tech belt right here that looks like it's going to be perfect, assuming the 7-inch internal circumference is correct. You can see what I had it reserved for, but it doesn't actually fit that deck, so it's kind of been sitting around waiting for me to use it again. So maybe we'll use it in this deck. Okay, it is time to get inside the unit, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about with regards to maybe a bigger fight than usual. By the way, I'm the first guy to ever get inside this. I know that from the way the threads were and the factory screws were. Nobody's gotten in here yet except for me, so that is always good. That is always something I consider preferable. So, here's the reason for my concern right here. We got all these Panasonic purple pukers to deal with. They're all over the place in here. Those are getting recapped immediately. I was hoping I wouldn't be recapping this whole thing right away, but I'm going to have to get rid of these. You can see right here, this one here that's 1000 microfarads, 16 volts. That has been leaking all over the board right down there. You can see it. So that's going. But this is why Hitachi drives me up the wall sideways with their designs. The Pioneer CT-F900, no problem. The entire power supply is on one board. Easy to do, or easy to work on. This deck has power supply everywhere on 3 different boards. There's this board, and then there's some down in there. And I gotta recap those today, because I think that's probably all I've got time for today. And since I have to instantly recap these capacitors anyway, I might as well get those done and out of the way early. I suppose I should just get going on this and change out these capacitors. I'm probably going to have to get the front face off this thing in order to disconnect these linkages here. Looks like they're held on with these rubber thingamadoodles here. And then they pull off that way. And then once they're off, this board can be swiveled up this way and then sort of locked into place. It's got that kind of a swivel hinge on it. So let me get started with this, and once we're done this, we'll start getting into that nightmare of a transport. And I hope I've got these capacitors too, because I like to recap the motorboards on these direct drive units as well. Just wanted to mention to you guys, there's one screw that's longer than the others to get the face off. It's the one that was up in this corner. So you want to be sure you are aware of that. And it's got a lock washer on it too, so make sure you put that where it goes. Otherwise, the rest of the screws are pretty much the same, I think. Yes, I think so. These 2 are bottom cover screws, or bottom screws for the face. Well, actually, let's put them all together. Those are the ones for the bottom. These are the ones for the top, and the black one goes into the transport. So that's how you keep track of them. So the face is actually at the point where I think I can take it off now. Yes, it does appear to be the case. No need to remove any of these controls here, it looks like, but I've got some wires holding me up because it looks like the LED panel up front wants to come off with the face. So I'm going to have to figure out where those plug in and take pictures, and it's probably all up in here. And we've got a bunch of these single pin connectors and fun stuff. Let me get to this. Okay, the faceplate is off, and I told you guys I had that feeling about this deck. Basically what I ended up doing was I disconnected this from the front panel, or unclipped it, and the same thing with these LEDs over here as well. They just clip in right there and right here. Be careful that you don't break these, otherwise you're not getting these things back installed again. Fun stuff. But at least now I've got access to these controls. I can take them apart and clean them and polish them, as the case may be, and then get these linkages off so I can get this board swiveled out of the way to get at the other power supply capacitors I need to change. This deck is a nightmare already, and there's still so much to do. I took pictures of every one of these wires up here, but some of them are identical, and it's just not fun. So I'm going to try to get by as well as I can without unplugging too many of these wires, but I don't even know what goes to the transport yet, so this could get really complicated real fast. Okay, this is the deck with the bottom off, and I'm seeing areas of concern. That's been getting warm. I'll show you the reason for that later. Well, in a minute or 5. Got a bunch of jumper wires bodged in here using this awful circuit glue. That's going to have to be cleaned up. I've got 2 tantalum capacitors up here I'm going to have to try and replace, because I'm not keeping those in there. But you want to know why you got to get rid of the pretty purple pukers? That's why. We've got corrosion down here. So I'm going to have to check all these traces, see if they're all going where they're supposed to go, and if they're still conducting electricity. But yes, that's why. There's a little bit of corrosion here as well. So I'm going to have to be looking into that the rest of the afternoon instead of working on the transport. So who knows how long this video is going to take to get done, but I did leave myself like 2 weeks to do this, so maybe I'll get somewhere, maybe I won't. So let me continue trying to get somewhere, and I'll report back again. Oh, wait. I gotta show you this first. Almost forgot, because I'm tired. That down there is the reason why we've got that heat discoloration. These resistors down there, you can see there's awful brown circuit glue in them, and those resistors are not in good shape anymore. So those will need to be replaced. Thankfully, these resistors are only for the front panel lamps, like the ones for the VU meters and ones for the cassette well lamp. So they're not critical, but I'm going to have to replace those with proper flame-proofer resistors. Yes, that's what I meant to say. And I'm not sure about this sleeve that's over them. I don't know if I'll reuse that or not, but I probably will not. I'm not sure if it needs to be there, but there's more areas than that to be concerned about. Like there's this transistor down here that's got the same circuit glue inside there with the with all the brown nastiness that goes with it. So I'm gonna have to check on that as well. Probably pull that sleeve off and leave it off. I don't know. Okay, folks, I have still yet to get into this and recap things, but I noticed something interesting with regards to these tantalum capacitors. Take a look at this right here. You see this? There's a missing capacitor right there, and there's a missing one right there. The tantalum caps are across those. It appears that what Hitachi has done is they've set up the board for traditional caps, but they've used tantalums there instead. And in the service manual, those capacitors are actually audio coupling capacitors that go between the playback, or that couple the playback to the rest of the circuitry. And in the service manual, there's a weird symbol next to the next to those caps, and it's that one right there. So I did a little bit of research, and I found out that the Japanese used this symbol as sort of an asterisk. So it appears that they're just drawing attention to the fact that they've used tantalums there instead of regular electrolytics. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete the tantalums, and I'm going to populate this area with Nichicon UKZ parts. And I will continue doing that throughout the audio chain, I think, is going with the audio grade parts. The tantalums will be left out of there because they're audio coupling capacitors, and, well, quite frankly, the UKZ parts are better anyway. The tantalums measure good, but that doesn't mean I want to keep them in there, because those like to fail shorted. However, in this case, I don't think it would hurt to have these failed shorted because they're audio coupling. So if they weren't there, you'd just get extended low-end frequency response, and that's about it. So I'll go in with UKZ parts right there, and hopefully that'll do the job. And I'm spotting a lot of bad solder joints under here that I'm going to have to go through and look at. There's one right there. Let's see, where are we? That one. So lots of work to do on this board before I even get to the transport, so I best get to it. Okay, folks, so the first tantalum has been replaced. I should point something out here. The solder mask is improperly labeled here. They have the thing labeled wrong. This is how it is under the board here, but these pads did not have anything on them. So initially I thought that those were where you needed to attach the UKZ parts to, or the new capacitors. But that is not correct because these pads do not correspond to where the tantalums were. The tantalums were on this pin here, or this tantalum was. This was, let's see, negative, and the positive was over here. But if you look at the traces, they actually go over to these two lands right here. So I took a look on the other side of the board, and sure enough, that's where the missing capacitors were, on the top side of the board. So be very careful with this stuff right here, because Hitachi likes to fool you, it looks like. So I'm going to do this other tantalum yet, and then I'll have two UKZ parts in, and I will continue doing the audio parts where I find them. But I'm only replacing the purple pukers right now, for the most part, and these two tantalums. So I'm just getting started with this anyhow. But I should mention that they would have chosen these tantalums for a good reason. And usually when you use tantalums like this, it's because they're lower ESR. However, these are 10 microfarad at 10 volts, these tantalum parts. The UKZ parts are 10 microfarad at 100 volt parts. So I have compared the ESR of both of these, and the UKZ parts are actually lower ESR than the tantalums are. So I think they're going to work well. At least I hope so, because I'm not buying tantalum parts just for this thing. Alright folks, I'm having to do a little bit more recapping than I thought I was going to have to. I found one badly leaking capacitor right here. This is C155, I do believe. It's hard to tell because, yeah, that's 155. It's hard to tell because it's an absolute labeling nightmare under here. I'm spotting a lot of components that are not corresponding to what they should be under here. There seems to be a lot of mislabeled components under here, is what I'm saying. So the issue I am worried about right now is this capacitor was on the source of one of the input JFET buffer transistors. And I am very concerned that maybe it's not so good anymore. Let's see if we can find it here. I think it's probably this right down in here. The other one, let's see if I can find that one. Not exactly sure where it is. Well, it'll be around here, so it's probably that right there. So that one wasn't bad though on that channel, so I don't know. I'm going to keep going with this. I'm going to replace everything in the blue capacitors as well that's over a certain value because of that one leaky capacitor. So I'm going to keep going with this. This is taking a lot more work than expected, just this part of it alone. So you guys might be seeing a video at the end of the week for part 1 that's just covering me and these god-awful capacitors. Well, I found the worst one yet. Both of these purple pukers that were in here, they're the same value, were leaking. But this one was leaking worse than the other one. Good God, what a nightmare. I hope this thing works after this, because I'm going to have to do some serious patching underneath there, because one of the traces completely lifted and split open and just kind of divided itself in half. So I'm going to have to run a bunch of jumper wires under there after this. And also get rid of this brown circuit glue. All right, folks, I've been slowly working my way through this deck, deleting all the bad circuit glue, and I just wanted to show you this transistor to show you why you have to do this. It's already kind of starting to corrode this thing, so we're going to test this in a second, but this is one of those components that was in these fabric sheaths here. It was right down in there. And there's still a little bit of circuit glue to clean up in there, but I'm kind of thinking about my approach to this, and I think I might be using high temperature silicone to sort of glue this back down to the board after this transistor's back in, assuming the transistor's any good. But let's check that now. I'll get the new transistor checker to do it for me, as opposed to the old one. Okay, 1, 2, and 3 right there. And we'll just check it and see if it's any good. Oh, I hope that isn't accurate, because if it is accurate, then I'm going to have to replace this transistor. Let me get the other checker and we'll see what it says. That's literally the first time I've used that Pioneer checker, so I'm not exactly sure if I know for sure what I'm doing with it yet. So we'll just try this one as a way to test. Okay, it measures good in this one. So okay, emitter cathode base. So let me check the back of the board here just to be sure. Yeah, emitter cathode base. There was so much circuit glue on it that the part number is no longer legible, so I'm hoping it's still good. I'm going to put it back in, and we'll see what happens, I guess. I've gotten the rest of the circuit glue done, and I just wanted to mention how you can handle circuit glue is for large stubborn spots like this had, what you can do is you can hold a cotton ball soaked in acetone over the circuit glue, then just go away for like 5 or 10 minutes or so, and then when you come back it'll be nice and soft and you can get rid of it that way. But that's basically what I did, although some of the scraping I did over here kind of took off the conformal coating just a bit, so I'm going to have to reapply that conformal coating. But that's easy stuff from here, and I still have yet to go over the rest of this board for bad solder joints. I got a few, but this deck is really aggravating to service. Just like the last Hitachi, but in different ways. So this is fun. No, not really. Okay, folks, there it is. The transistor is reinstalled. This despite the fact that I have now looked up the data sheet and found that the HFE is low compared to what that's supposed to be, so that transistor might actually need to be replaced. Focus, you stupid camera. Anyhow, I'll have to run it for now. I don't have a replacement, obviously. I am still trying to get the circuit glue out of this thing, but I'm getting there with it. Like I said, I will probably reinstall it using red RTV sealant to the board, not to the transistor itself. I want the transistor to be able to be removed, but maybe I shouldn't reinstall it for that particular reason, because if I'm replacing that, maybe it's best if I leave that out. Anyway, transistor's done. Pretty much everything else is done. And I think we're ready to do a power-up test. God help me, I don't even know if this is going to work. I don't know what's going to explode in this thing if I try to power it up, but I guess we're going to do it. I think we're ready, so let me plug her in and we'll see, I guess. It's turned off right now, that's good. And I will adjust things to make sure nothing shorts out. Should be okay. I hope my jumper wires underneath where the corrosion was is okay. So let's fire it up and see what blows up. I'll turn on the power to the unit first, and then I'll do the power switching from the step-down transformer. Here goes. Wish me luck. 3, 2, 1. Power on. We got lights. Do we have capstan? Yes, we do. Oh, thank God. I can move on with this thing now. I'm going to shut it back off, and I think our next step will be to remove the transport, and then I'll finish editing this video for Saturday because I've got enough video content for a video already, so that's what we're going to do. Transport service will be all in its own separate video. Okay, I'm about ready to get the transport out of this thing now. But before we do that, I just wanted to let you know, or show you, the capacitors. And I'll show you which ones are the bad and which ones are good and whatnot. These are all the good ones I pulled out of there. In fact, some of them are so good they're above their rated capacitance. Including this one, which I'm tempted to keep because it's that good. But nah, I'll just get rid of all the old stuff anyway that I take out of here. If this were a customer deck, all these would be staying in the deck, but not a customer deck, it's my deck, so that's that. These here are the marginal ones. These are the ones that are climbing out of spec or descending out of spec, as it were. They're pushing the 20% tolerance that I would want to replace them with. And I don't know what's going on with this thing, but usually they don't look like that, so... It was next to those two big power resistors for the lamps, though, so that's probably why. Just kind of shrunk away the casing on that. And it's down by my feet somewhere, and I'm not going to pick it up because we got work to do. These are the outright bad ones. We've got all these purple pukin things, as usual. And then there's the one, I think this is a Nichicon, yes. That came out by the JFET. And thankfully, I've tested this and it measures fine yet. So the JFET itself is probably good. So I don't have to worry about that. The purple pukers, they all test good as well, but they're puking, so not leaving them. Especially these two. These two have been leaking bad. But they're not the only ones that have been leaking. Let's see. Can I get a good look at this one? Probably not. But a couple of these 470s were leaking, so anyway, these have a very bad reputation, so you have to get rid of them anyway, so I'm glad they're gone. Now, let's put all these to the side. I want to say a few more words about this transistor. That one back in there that had the sleeve on it. That is Q12, and I can't remember the part name offhand, because I'm talking to you guys right now, but that is in the bias oscillator circuit. So if there's any trouble with this recording, that is exactly where I'm going to look first. Like I said, I'm not going to replace it just now, but the beta gain is kind of low on this, so something to keep in mind. With that said, once I did get my new Finercy transistor tester to read this, it measured higher beta gain than my older tester, so it might actually hold up. So I'm going to leave it alone for now because that's like a $20 transistor these days. I would rather not do that. I'm trying to save a little bit of money here. It may not seem that way, but I am. Anywho, it's going to be fun identifying the head wires and stuff to start taking this out, but I have already identified the playback head wires. That's these two right here. These are individually pinned. And why can't my camera focus? It's annoying. Anyway, there's a single pin for each of these wires, so you have to keep track of them. And I'm going to have to get my needle nose pliers to help me take that out because it's not wanting to come. See if we can do this. And the only two audio grade caps I've installed yet are those two UKZs. You can see right next to these wires. If the deck works afterwards, then I'll consider recapping the rest of it with more audio grade stuff. And there we go. You saw how these were pinned, but it's fairly easy to identify them with the service manual as to which goes where. And in fact, I think they're actually labeled on the board, so that's good. But I'm only going to do those two for now because I want to get over here and start disconnecting the transport. And there's this connector here we have to delete for the capstan motor. There's a positive and negative voltage on this, 9.5 volts plus and minus. And to my surprise, they've got this coming off out of a source I didn't expect, honestly. They've got it coming off a transformer winding with a half bridge rectifying, it looks like. Kind of weird, but cool nonetheless. See if I can get this old tie off. Sometimes you can reuse these, but I don't like them, so I get rid of them. Okay, so that's been depinned, and I gotta find all these other wires and depin those. But first I will set you down. And we've got some ground wires to delete. The double ground wire goes to this one, it would seem. I'm not sure if it really matters too much where the grounds go, but I will reinstall that just to not lose it. Then there's this other ground that has to come off. Same story there. I will replace the screw. And we've got a big ground over here. This big green wire. Hitachi must really love grounding their stuff, I gotta tell ya. Same story, we'll leave that connected, and we gotta find this and disconnect it, because this goes to a lamp, I'm gonna say. Said lamp is soldered directly to the board. So let me see if I can remove it. I may be able to. There's this one screw up here. I'm not sure if this is a lamp housing or not. Oh yeah, we can just delete it this way. If we can get our fingers and hands to cooperate and pull this tape up. There we go. I will let this kind of droop out of the way here. Top side of this is freed up, but we got to find all the control circuitry and stuff yet. But before I do that, we got a couple of screws here to remove. Just kind of freeing up space to get the transport out right now. We'll take this bracket off. There's a screw in front as well. Okay, bracket's off. Let me see here. I'm going to reinstall the screws in the brackets. And wherever the screws were, That one goes there. And the black one is for the transport. It goes there. Okay, this side's freed up. I'm not going to worry about the wiring to the control part of the transport just yet. There are 2 screws, one there and one there for the transport. We will get those out. Gosh, I hope this tape deck works after I'm done with it. At the moment, I am really uncertain about the efficacy of what I'm doing here. Transport should... Oh, wait, there's one more. I thought the transport was going to be loose, but nope, we got another one of Hitachi's ground wires to delete on this one. Actually, this entire plate looks like it can come right off of here now. It's just flopping around loose, so I'm going to take that off. Okay, we'll take this plate off like so. Goes like that. Remember that, self. And now I will put those 2 screws back in, so I don't lose them. And I will do the same thing over here with this one ground wire, because I don't want to lose that inside the deck and not be able to find it again. So that should be loose now, and it is. But just checking in front here, seeing what wants to come out with it. These do not have to come with it, so I will put those over inside the deck just to keep them out of harm's way. And I'm just taking a look from the top down, and there's a little wire clip down under here. I discovered it earlier while I was working on that one power supply board. So I'll free the wires up from that. I'll show you in a second here. That's where the clip is. The wires were just captured underneath it. So those are loose. Probably don't have enough wire slack yet. No, I don't. There's another clip down there that's holding some wires in. I'm pointing at it. Right down yonder. And oh, I think this ground wire has to be off anyway. All right, I guess I'll take it off. And I'll put this transport screw with the other ones off to the side. Okay, we've got this that has to come off. For the counter, I guess, it runs down to this point right here. There's a black stripe on one of the yellow wires. That black stripe goes toward this end of the board. Kind of pulling wires willy-nilly there, but I don't think I damaged anything. I also want to take all these switches off and clean them. Eventually. That's not for now. Actually, I might be able to clean those in situ, as it were. So, I gotta free up some more wires here. Once I figure out what I'm doing, I'm losing track of some of the screws here. Still working on freeing up some wires here. I'm going to try to get the wires out of this clip down here as gently as possible. Oh, actually, it looks like these wires are all on connectors on the front of the transport here. So if I can get enough clearance here, I can disconnect them at the front of the transport. Which is probably a good thing, because a lot of these wires, if they're connected at the front of the transport, are not going to have connectors anywhere else. And maybe now we can get access to these front connectors here. maybe not. Hitachi. What can I say? Okay, we need to find the some more of the head wires here, I think. I believe I know where they are. Oh, I see one possibly pinched wire. I don't know if that's a big problem right now, but it may be. Alright, I got one head wire unstrung from this whole nightmare. You can't see it because it's kind of off screen. It's one of the playback head wires. And there's the other one here. This here is the pinched one. You can't see it. It's a green wire. Oh, maybe it's not pinched. It kind of looks like it, but it's not. Talk about your wiring spaghetti nightmares. I may have to string all these another way when I put this back in. Put this back together, I mean. Okay, I found another set of wires to disconnect. They run all the way back under here. Not exactly sure what they do, but one is delineated with a black stripe, so make note of that. It's the one closest to this side of the deck. So I'll unplug that if I can. Some of these connectors are real tight. Now I'm going to fish that through the whole deck again. Fortunately, that is not difficult. It seems like it goes to the back in under there, so it's probably something to do with the shutoff. And man, I am getting real irritated with Hitachi right now, I gotta tell ya. Okay, this is the real motor right here. Where does this go? Trying to give you a good look, and it's just about dang near impossible with this. Okay, so I think it's both connectors on this board that have to be unplugged. Of course it is. Let's use the two most difficult connectors possible. Okay, so I'll unplug both of them because I think both need to come up. And Hitachi has wound them around the wiring harness. Because of course they have. Like they weren't being annoying enough. Please tell me the D-2200 isn't this bad, because I kind of wanted one of those eventually. I see them come up for sale every once in a while, but usually not for decent prices. That's why I don't own one yet. Okay, I'm going to untangle this off camera. This is annoying. Okay, I think I'm making a little progress in here. Not much. This one connector here, the 4-pin, that does go on this board, but this other one, I don't know where it goes. I'm not going to deal with it. But just looking at this, you know that song 12 Volt Vids has on his channel these days, The Engineer's Blunder? Well, I think I need to ask him if I can borrow that song, because it's running through my head right now. This is just ridiculous. And I've just found where the real motor connects to. There are no connectors on any of these wires. They solder down. Here's the negative right here. And then the positive, I think, is this one right here. I will confirm that in a second, but I will have to desolder those and pull them straight out of this connector here. And I'm not happy about this. I might be installing a connector on this wire just so I can unplug this better in the future. Like maybe up and around here or something. Like I'll get one of my JST connector sets to do with it. In fact, yeah, I'm going to do that. Problem solved, at least for now. I still got to get the heads disconnected on this thing. Why did I buy this? Why do I continue trying to fix it? Oh, let me see here. Which wires do I want to disconnect now? Which ones actually go to the transport? Let's see, we got this blue one next. Where does this go? It's all tangled up in there. Okay, that's where it goes. It goes right there. You can't see that. Can you see it now? Probably not, because Hitachi has everything else in the way. See if I can find it for you here. Oh, there it is. I see it on camera now. It's this one right here. That's this blue wire, and I don't know what it's for. Could be the erase head, could be something else. In fact, I bet that's what it is the erase head. Let me just go around front and I'll check. Well, actually, I can't check. The entire control panel's in the way, so we're just going to have to pull it out and hope that I don't get it confused with one of the playhead wires, because one of the playhead wires was in blue as well. But the playhead wires are these ones. They are not color-coded red, they're color-coded white, so maybe this way I'll be able to keep track of them. Now if I can get them through the rat's nest here. Folks, I'm calling it right now. If you want to buy a Hitachi and you're just getting into servicing for the first time, maybe don't buy that Hitachi. This is advanced stuff right here. Okay, we've got two more wires, a gray one and a black one, and I'm betting these are the record heads. Ridiculous. Absolutely nuts. All right. One side of the record heads has been disconnected. I'm sure that's what these are. I think the blue one was the erase head. And now I've just got this gray one, which is hiding way back under here, which I have now exposed. And these are color-coded red as well, but the paint is kind of wearing off these connectors. I can't tell you enough about how irritated I am with Hitachi's engineers right now. I got your engineer's blunder right here, sirs. And yeah, like I said, I'll just reconnect the real motor from this angle here. Either I'll splice together and heat shrink, or I'll just install a connector, because this is goddamn ridiculous. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, but now we've got access to these front connectors, which are labeled, because apparently this has been serviced before. Who would take this on at this point? Okay, top connector is labeled M. Disconnected. Or rather, that's not the top connector, that's something. I'm going to get out my Sharpies here, because I know I'm going to want to label these somehow. We'll get this upper one done. This is a 6-pin connector. White was toward this side of the deck, or transport. It was plugged in like this, trying to... there's more connectors to find and disconnect. Got to do these ones yet, too. Cotton pickin' Hitachi nightmare. Okay, and these other two connectors, what are they? Oh, there's more than one connector down there. Of course there is. Or more than two, I should say. Come on, disconnect. Don't make me come in there. And this one is a 7-pin connector, so... Okay, I think we can keep them straight that way. 7-pin. And then this one is an 8-pin, I think. Yes. Then the very bottom one is a 4-pin. And we are, what? 4 wires away from getting the transport out. Finally. That's what it takes on this device. So If I can find where these plug in. Please tell me they plug in. Where does this one go? It goes to one of the connectors I just unplugged, because of course it does. Why wouldn't it? And we've got more purple pukers back in there too. You know what? I think this is meant to come off separate. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that's the way it goes on this. That must be the way it goes on this. It can't be this friggin' difficult to take apart otherwise. Yeah, control panel comes off separately, and then we don't even have to deal with those connectors at all, or we didn't have to. Ah, yes, here's the counter itself. Guess there was a bunch of stuff we didn't have to disconnect there, but whatever. Oh, what a nightmare. Now, how do I deal with this thing? Oh, it just pulls out with a spring that almost got lost but didn't. Okay, so it goes down right like this into that little hole there. Basically what I'm trying to do right now, yeah, that's how it goes. I don't have the spring in there, so I'll put the spring on the pin and hope it stays there. I'll put it way out of the way so I don't lose it. So I got one side of this freed up, and guessing there's more to deal with. Pull this board off separately, I guess. I don't see any other way to do this. Trying to be gentle because I do want this to work afterwards, as aggravating as it is right now. And here's the board. I will replace these capacitors post-haste, all of them, because I might as well. And then I'll reconnect these connectors, and then basically the transport is loose now, I think. Maybe not. It is not. Of course it isn't. Okay, so this is the connector that goes to the transport from that, from this thing. Bloody nightmare, but the transport is out and we can work on it. 2 4-pin connectors, just great. Terrific. I gotta look at my footage to figure out exactly how to put this back together, because this is that bloody annoying right now. Well, folks, there it is. We got the transport out. As irritating as it was, it's out, and I can work on it. I hope. What a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Off camera, I'm going to JST these wires here on both sides, just so I can get them back in better. I'm not repeating this. And I guess we'll pick up with the next video, in which we will do the transport service, and maybe we'll see if we can even get it back together and working again. I don't know about this, but it is out. It's ready to go. I think we can do this. I hope we can do this. So I'll see you in the next video, maybe next week, maybe in 2 weeks from now, because this could take that much time. Anyway, take care.